provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
You may be arrested and/or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, let me quantify this as simply as I can, and then I'm going to give the toll-free number out, and I'm going to do nothing but take your phone calls in the second hour today. Call after call, I promise. But specifically on where this country's going economically. I mean, 3.5 years ago, I told you the banker bailouts wouldn't work. It would only make things worse. It would devalue the currency, that Europe would implode next. Not because I have a crystal ball. This is a planned program of the global private central banks waging economic warfare on the planet. 2,000 pages of their documents got leaked the same day Joseph Stiglitz left the World Bank in 2002 and were in the BBC, how they planned all this. I wrote a chapter in my book, Descent into Tyranny, on it, predicting it. 9 years ago. We knew exactly what was going to happen. When they were done bankrupting Europe, they'd announce a new Bank of the World. You pay carbon taxes and VAT taxes too, and sales taxes. And they have conservative leaders in Europe and in the U.S., all from Herman Cain right over to Neil Bortz, you name it, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, all of them calling for VAT and sales taxes. I've played the clips here. Just type in Bill O'Reilly calls for VAT and sales tax. All of them. Going, we got to pay off this debt. We don't owe over 90% of it. Over 90% of it in every country you look at it, from Iceland to Greece to the U.S., is derivative garbage that we've been signed on to. That's what's infecting the entire financial system. And the globalists like it that way. It's a ball and chain around us. And then I got to hear conservatives on the radio like children. I know they're not bad people. Like children going, well, my gosh, the Occupy Wall Street, they're against the free market. They're a bunch of lazy hippies. Yeah, quite a few of them are actually lazy hippies. But a lot of them are people that have had their pensions stolen, their houses stolen. I mean, it's on record that big banks are taking people's houses they don't even have a deed to and never owned, including paid-for in-cash houses that in several Bank of America cases we know of, they take them knowing it's not even their house and go lie in court. And all the other big banks are doing it. I mean, when I get up here and tell you the government's running drugs, it's in the news today that subpoenas are being sent by Congress to Holder. It's in the news that he's been caught now perjuring himself, and that the memos that he signed off on and the minutes of his meetings are public. They were public 6 months ago in federal court. Do you know what else was in federal court in the Sinaloa drug gang cartel hearings? The U.S. declared national security and did say, yes, we allow Sinaloa to bring in tens of tons of cocaine a month, and we give them firearms. It's now confirmed in Fox News, Associated Press, but they just bury it in the article. Oh, in one case, the ATF gave 2,000 guns directly to the Sinaloa cartel and others. They're giving drug cartels in Chicago and Tampa guns. Did you know that's in the Florida papers? Did you know that's in the El Paso Times? But it's never on the national news. Do you understand that ISA is not going to go after them for the cocaine? Because you know why? The Sinaloa documents that came out show it's a 5.5-year-old program. It's like Iran-Contra. It predates Obama. Now, Obama went one further, though. He didn't just have ATF go buy guns and then give them to Mexican drug cartels to knock out drug cartels south of the border and consolidate power. He would order cameras, this is all public now, to be put in. And that was the first part of the Fast and Furious the public was told about. And the establishment hoped it stayed there and then would videotape the straw purchases. Those were ATF agents coming in getting the guns. That was the part of the program here in the U.S. to blame the Second Amendment. So the real program was arming drug cartels that are running drugs into the U.S., laundering it through Federal Reserve banks. But they wanted the added goodie. The Bush administration did not blame it on the Second Amendment. They just did an Iran-Contra deal. Guns shipped south of the border, drugs in. 8 agencies, FBI, DEA, Coast Guard, Border Patrol. Go read this. Just type El Paso Times, ATF, cocaine. And I mean, in fact, show folks on Google. You'll get, they've had like 10 different articles the last few months. We had it before they did, back in January, or was it February? We had PrisonPlanet.com articles about it because we had the federal documents. How do we go to the Federal Register and see the federal court documents? A listener found it and sent it to us. We went on the Chicago court system thing, and there it all was. Now, what's going on right now is, there it is, documents. Fed allegedly allowed Sinaloa cartel to move cocaine to the U.S. for information. And that's an old article from a few months ago. That's a whitewash. It's now completely come out that in just one case, they shipped 2,000 guns directly to them. And who got caught last year laundering $376 billion and paid a $111 million fine on it? Wells Fargo, Wachovia. I've shown that so many times, no point. Just type in Wells Fargo, Wachovia, drug money laundering. I mean, they even leased them and ran the aircraft for them. $378 billion or $376 billion. Do you think that's being hidden in some crack house where you live in Chicago or Illinois or Austin, Texas or someplace? There it is. Wachovia to settle drug money laundering case. And it says they paid $160 million. It was $111 million that their parent company ended up actually paying. That's Wells Fargo. Oh, but here's Herman Cain. Herman Cain steps up attacks on protesters. Mr. Federal Reserve. Mr. Federal Reserve head of Kansas City previously. Mr. 999. He wants a sales tax on top of the income tax. I always told you with this fair tax business they were going to keep the income tax on top of it. That's how they've done it in Europe. But you're not going to listen. It's too much fun as a mainline Republican to get cheated. Herman Cain steps up attacks on Wall Street protest. Now, let's really break down what's going on with Mr. Cain. He's an establishment person, just like Mitt Romney, just like Rick Perry. And it's worse. It's worse than working for Al Gore like Rick Perry did to actually work for the Federal Reserve. But Herman Cain is up there now because it's popular with conservatives to say, hey, you dirty hippies, if you don't make money, it's because, and you don't have a good life, it's because you're lazy and stupid. Well, certainly there's still a lot of opportunity in this country, and if you really are smart and work hard, you can end up doing very well. But the IRS will probably come audit you for no reason and take half of what you got. Famous for cheating people. But now he's coming out. This is how they play. I want to explain this to people very, very simply, okay? This is how they do it. They have the Tea Party come out 4 years ago. Media ignores it. Then the Republicans try to co-opt it. The establishment comes out and says it's white racist. Then anybody who's got any pigment in their skin thinks, well, I can't be part of the Tea Party. It's white racist. Divide and conquer. As if people that have brown skin or tan skin can't be for the Second Amendment or freedom or lower taxes. And they put out the hoax that it's racist and white only. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then these foundations, oh, by the way, I have an article connected to the CIA. That's now come out at Infowars.com. A group connected to the CIA and color revolutions overseas. They trigger them when they know the time's right. Who wants collectivism, the big government, run by the big corporations, to shut down their competition to get taxpayer money. Herman Cain never tells you that. Never talks about the welfare of the big mega banks getting trillions in bailouts. Not 800-something billion, and the talking point that they paid it all back. Yeah, they got it interest-free, loaned it out at 30+% interest on average, and that was only the 870-something billion that they tried to order all banks to take a piece of so they'd be dirty and part of it. A lot of banks wouldn't take it or gave it back when they figured that out. So they could later be blamed for the $16.6 trillion. They now admit that number of Federal Reserve secret bailouts to themselves, private banks, $16.6 trillion, not counting in another $10 trillion. Bloomberg says it's $27 trillion. Oh, but the talking point is they paid back the 800-something billion. See how they bamboozle you, how they play you? So it's very simple. They demonize the Tea Party and say to destroy a populist movement or try to. The CIA and the control groups advertise Occupy Wall Street. Grassroots people show up saying, we don't like the corruption on Wall Street. Then they send in Democratic Party operatives to try to co-opt it so they can ride back into power and so the Federal Reserve can pass tax increases they want as the liberal counter to rich people, when really the Federal Reserve type central banks worldwide always want to raise taxes to control the public and get more of that tax money. That's why they have the 100 millionaire plus guy running around up there, looks like a self-propelled stomach, Michael Moore, scurrying around saying capitalism's the problem. Not the Federal Reserve that created the derivatives and allowed it and got rid of Glass-Steagall. Not the globalist bankers. Not the people getting tens of trillions in bailouts. Not the people openly pushing world government. No. It's not the Federal Reserve. It's anybody with property. And now the bankers are going to sick the giant poor mass of people during the Depression on what's left of America and blame capitalism for it. And the bankers sit offshore laughing. Now that's what's really going on. Your calls are coming up in hour number 2 and a lot more. Stay with us.
Steve Shank here with a special alert from eFoods Direct. The stock market continues to crash and recrash daily. Since July, the market has dropped 15% with no signs of recovery. What does that mean to you? When stocks crash, jobs are lost, and you can't buy the food that's already too expensive and continues to raise in cost. eFoods just got notice that wholesale costs on pasta, rice, and beans will immediately jump 20%. The already high cost of sugar is tripling. If you invest in the stock market for security or save money in the bank, you continue to see the dollar drop in value while your weekly food bills increase. So what are you going to do? Get as much food now as you can. With these problems you're facing, eFoods Direct has no choice but to extend the free shipping another week to October 9th. Free shipping buys more food with shipping dollars. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way